it really does feel like we're going to have to switch. There's going to be a new mode of operating for people, who are looking for more progressive policies from our government, that where states are going to have to become more prominent in that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, this is the time to get involved locally, because I think that, I don't mean to sound pessimistic. I mean to sound realistic, but there's not a lot you can expect from Congress. Not a lot you expect from the Senate. Not a lot you can expect from this administration. But this is the time, obviously, now to actually figure out on a local level what can be done, and to organize at that level. And a lot can be done, and at the same time, local politics can be just as black-pilling often, depending on where you are. But this is kind of the short-term way forward, I think.
Yeah, and I think, and certainly I've talked about in the past, in my experience, that local politics, not everywhere, but certainly are far more susceptible to corruption than on a national level. However, it takes fewer people to
change everything,
to inhibit that corruption, because you just dollar for dollar. I mean, we had Aaron Kleinman on the other day. They've got the States Project, and it's just every dollar you contribute to a state Senate race is like, it has the weight of, I don't know, $100 that you would contribute to a federal Senate race, relatively speaking. Yeah. And the same with actually like using, organizing, I mean, being an activist or getting involved, taking over your local Democratic party, whatever it is. What do you know about the specifics of this insulin thing, if anything, as far as like, can California sell insulin? Can they enter into the, well, I mean, right? I mean, why not?
Yeah, I actually, I don't know all the details. I know that it's because of a law they passed not too long ago that sort of gave them the right to do this. We, I guess, benefit from when ambitious politicians wish to add things to their resume, right? More than just wishing to sort of hide from their responsibilities. And on the left and in the Democratic Party, there's kind of a shocking lack of imagination among people who sort of want to advance, right? I think about, Andrew Cuomo for 12 years thought he was going to be the future of the party and the president someday, and his ambitions were so limited. It was like he wanted to put his dad's name on a bridge. That was about it. So I don't know. I do think that like we have a generation of, in blue states, these Democrats who actually might want to use some of the power they have to do stuff. But like the insulin thing is a great example of like, we could have been trying this. We could have been trying this kind of stuff already.
Yeah. And I think Newsom is going to, hopefully we get into some type of arms race where every Democratic governor is trying to, create their own sort of like marquee program that they can. I mean, honestly, like, this is the best thing that could possibly happen in these circumstances. But let's talk about somebody who is still, I think, sort of stuck. I mean, and you say Cuomo. Not only did Cuomo's ambition. Not only was Cuomo's ambition constrained, I think it's more accurate to say like his ambition was to constrain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Like he set out to make sure things didn't happen. Not that he didn't have an ambition, sufficient enough ambition to make things happen. He set out to inhibit anything that would happen. And it is, it is. I hope somebody takes a poll and a national poll and Gavin Newsom is got a huge approval rating and people want him to run for president. So that, Pritzker, says like, well, wait a second, maybe I'll do that. And then Kathy Hochul does it and so on. But let's talk about somebody who's not doing that. I want to just read the first paragraph. This is from an AP report, not the good AP that you do, but this is from the more boring, less insightful AP. Facing pressure, Biden to sign order on abortion access. President Joe Biden will take executive action Friday to protect access to abortion, according to 3 people familiar with the matter, as he faces mounting pressure from Democrats to be more forceful on the subject. The idea that this could be written a week and a half after Roe v. Wade has been struck down is stunning. Like this should have been written 35 minutes after the ruling came down, and it should have been like, Democrats have whiplash with how fast Joe Biden got in front of a microphone to announce executive orders. I mean, this is just...
And they can't even use the excuse that they were taken by surprise, because it was leaked to the media, the opinion, and like they just thought that Kamala Harris could go out there and say vote in the fall, and Biden could say vote in the fall, and Pelosi could send fundraising emails, and that they were going to be okay. But even this is upsetting to me, because there's really no there to this executive action. It's like protecting patient privacy to a degree. I mean, we can flesh that out. Yeah, Alex, I just like he there are so many actual things he could do. He's just worried about appearing like he's doing nothing. Yeah.
I mean, it's the right. I kind of lost the plot on the story of who leaked the opinion or whatever. But one theory was like, it was leaked to give Democrats time to prepare, which is in retrospect a joke. Like that if that was the intention, it didn't really work. I mean, it really, when you hear reporting that like Deborah Messing is like, why did we elect you? It's I don't understand. Like I understand what's going on with Joe Biden, because he's been a very he has not been a huge friend to reproductive rights for most of his career. And politically, I think he is used to a world in which a politician like him has to triangulate on it. He's whatever. He's an East Coast Catholic machine guy or whatever. But I just don't understand the White House being so flat-footed on this, and this idea that they can still just sort of say Roe is on the ballot when it's not. It's just gone. It's not on the ballot. Like, I don't know. I mean, I actually, they feel sort of disconnected from political reality in a way that feels.
And if Roe is on the ballot, right? Like, then what are you proposing that is on the ballot in regards to Roe? Because all I hear from the Biden administration is what they can't do. They can't put abortion clinics on federal lands. They can't even entertain expanding the court. Like, if you want to create an urgency for Roe v. Wade on the ballot in the fall, then you have to propose something related to Roe v. Wade.
Yeah. And the lack of specificity is I don't even think that. I think that they say like, they've gotten a little bit more specific when they're like, you got to give us 2 more senators, right? Give us 2 more senators is the new line. But they can't even say what they do then, especially about the court, because they've already preemptively ruled out any fundamental reform to the judiciary.
I guess if they got 2 more senators, they would presumably be able to get a filibuster carve out for whatever they're going to pass. But this is, I mean, what I find just so shocking about this is like, it is as if they are all Rip Van Winkle. Like they just have, like, I get it. They cut their teeth at a time where it was different, but like is there no one in the White House? Is there no advisors there that are like, hey, this is a big deal to people? And I am perfectly willing to accept the possibility that they don't have the authority to rent out federal offices to abortion providers in these states. However, I would say all the more reason to do it and have the courts stop you. Like, what are you trying to communicate to people? And if you're trying to communicate to people that the courts have been taken over, we need senators to put more courts in, then you take this, like, you need to force the issue. It may be the case that they don't have the authority to do this, but they certainly have the physical capacity to do it, and then have the courts shut them down. And their reluctance to do that, they still think this is a losing issue. There was a poll that taken in the 19th district. I pay a lot of attention to that in New York State. It is a +5 Biden district that is going to change slightly to a 4.5 +4.5. But in an off-year election, that means the Democrat is going to lose, probably. It's a purple district. It has had a history of going back and forth. And when they polled, and the guy's down by like 3 points against a very odious Republican. I think this candidate who's running is a decent candidate, actually. And when they poll, they take another poll with the Republicans' abortion stance and the Democrats' abortion stance, the guy's up by 6 points. And this, I mean, there's no more like evidence that you need. And they still, it's just, don't they remember the Million Woman March? I mean, like, you know, people could, take issue with just the idea of wearing, funny hats. But the bottom line is, like, this is a winning issue.
Yeah. Like I said, this is not the presidency that Joe Biden wanted to have for himself, right? Like, he did not want to be he wanted to be the return to normalcy guy, and the Democrats want to run on bringing things back to normal. And in that context, the sort of unprecedented rightward lurch of the unaccountable Supreme Court is like an inconvenience. It's like they didn't sign up for this. I think that it is a little.
Oh, you've frozen. Hold on for 1 second. You've frozen for a minute.
Odd.
Go ahead.
How reluctant. I'm back. All right.
I'm sorry.
I do think it's odd how reluctant they are to like go popularist on this. And again, it's like you can partly explain that by Biden's personal politics, but beyond that, it's as if they can't really conceive, because they can't really like. They don't want to do unprecedented things, so they can't voice, we will fight, like, we will do these things. They kind of just want everything to just be, I think, back to some sort of status quo. And beyond that, they feel really uncomfortable, I think.